Well, let's take a quick peek here for you. I can load it up, and it looks like there's some showers down there today. Oh boy. Yeah, no, no, that's fine. Yeah, because it's easy to hop around here. But yeah, a few showers are gonna probably be in the vicinity today. I don't see any washouts because the rain tonight is really gonna be, non impactful. Friday looks pretty good too. I mean, they're right in between. It's like nothing during the day and then rain at night. So hopefully that they'll have a little bit of wetness on the ground, but then the rest of the weekend looks cool, but nice. Yeah. So dodging a few showers. I don't see any major delays at this point. So that's good. I'm not a big golfer. No. Yeah. I'm mostly into triathlons when I get out and run around and do stuff. So. Yep. Yeah. Starting March 14th, since then, we've just been, full speed ahead with severe weather. I mean, every third day it seemed like we had storms and severe. Actually, every single severe weather event we've had in Illinois so far this year, at least, has had tornadoes, which almost never happens. I mean, you have some where just a little bit of hail, a little bit of wind, but tornado, tornado, tornado. I've been on damage surveys probably 8 days in the last 3 weeks, and that's just not normal. Yeah, yeah. It appears like we've had just a really big pressure difference, excuse me, temperature difference between Canada and the Gulf states. So we're kind of in the jet stream pattern of southwest and northeast jet stream because the jet stream basically lines up where there's temperature differences that are large over smaller distances. And we just had a bullseye of that particular frontal boundary right across, the heart of the United States for I don't know how many weeks. It may oscillate a little north, a little south, but it's always been somewhere in the vicinity of Illinois for the last 4 weeks, and it was just crazy the way that's set up. I'd want to say, oh, there's a Bermuda high, but it wasn't really that. It just seemed like, there was some Canadian high pressure that kind of stagnated a little bit, and that just set us up for everything coming out of the Rockies was always getting targeted right towards Illinois, Tennessee, Kentucky area, and we just took the brunt of that one. Right. Yeah. We've had, well, so far officially there's been 43 tornadoes in that 3 to 4 week period, which is a lot. I mean, we average for a year about 58 a year, and we've had 43 in the better part of 1 month time frame. So, we've just been, none of them have been extreme tornadoes, thankfully. We've had no loss of life in Illinois, which is very good because we did have a moderate risk, and that tends to lead towards some tornadoes that could possibly, cause a loss of life. But we were lucky there. Nothing, impactful in terms of whole cities getting cleared out. But we did have a lot of, outbuildings. Some homes had some roof damage, siding damage, a lot of tree damage, a lot of power outages. So those were the primary impacts there. Although anytime your power goes out, that's never a good thing. And then the southern part of the state just got hammered with rain, about a foot of rain in the Ohio River Valley, and as much as 8 to 10 inches as far north as I-70, just south of DeWitt County, but yeah, DeWitt County, I should say. So, the impacts in central Illinois have been a lot of tornadoes, but nothing major. a lot of outbuildings and stuff like that. But that rain down south is leaving a mark, and we're still dealing with that. Since we're the state liaison office, I work with the Emergency Management Agency down in the Illinois Emergency Management Agency at the State Emergency Operations Center. So we've been partially activated there for the better part of a week now, where we provide them briefings and situation reports and let them know that where the resources are needed and whatnot. So, but yeah, the impacts have been pretty far reaching. Yeah. Right, right. Yeah. And we're going to see a little bit of a pattern change there. We're going to be on the cooler side of frontal boundaries for a little bit here. So hopefully no severe weather. Today's chances of severe weather are south of DeWitt County, and it's actually the targeting actually south of Illinois today, luckily. So a marginal chance as far north as I-70, Effingham to Terre Haute to St. Louis. But so we're going to take a little bit of a pause, hopefully a long pause from severe weather here for a little bit. The widespread stuff here. So yeah, we're in the midst of a weather pattern change right now because I'm looking at the outlooks, for next week and then heading into Easter, cooler than normal, and that doesn't lend itself towards a lot of severe weather. We see problems when we have a major above normal bullseye on Illinois because that brings the dew points into the 60s, and anytime you see that or higher, severe weather threat goes up a lot. So I'm hopeful, looking at the 6 to 10 and 8 to 14 day outlooks being below normal temperatures, that we're going to kind of scoot the severe weather pattern to the plains and then maybe southern Mississippi Valley for a bit here and give us a little bit of a reprieve from the severe weather, at least through the next couple of weeks anyway. Sure, sure. Yeah. While we have some rain chances today and tonight, it looks good Friday. We cool down a little bit to only mid 50s for highs, but that's not far off the beaten path there with our normals. What are they now? Yeah, in the low 60s. So, and then the weekend looks great. 61 Saturday, sunny, not that breezy. If you got sporting games outside, baseball, whatever, that's going to be a great day. And then Sunday, 70, so above normal there, but a little bit breezier there. You're going to south winds are going to pick up, 15 gusts to 25, even 30 miles an hour. So Sunday will be a little less. That's Palm Sunday, I guess. Yeah. So breezy, but mild, 70 degrees. So all in all, pretty banner weekend, all for spring. Sure. Yeah. There's this cold front coming through Monday, so we're going to throw some rain chances in there. It doesn't look anything really that bad. Less than a quarter inch, probably even less than a tenth of an inch. It's just a relatively dry front at this point. Then so chilly Monday night, down in the low 40s, so a little below normal. Tuesday 59, Wednesday 61. So a little gradual warm up as we head toward midweek. Some more rain chances I think come in on Thursday, but certainly that's nothing much there either. Yeah, there's a little bit of rain now. It's skirting a little to the south, so slightly below normal midweek. But I think we're gonna see a little bit of warm up as we head into the following weekend, the Easter weekend. There it looks warmer and dry at this point, so not too bad. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The rain amounts in the next 2 weeks do not look to be enough to, there should be some drying periods and windiness helps a lot with surface moisture drying because that really wicks away the surface moisture enough because they're pretty soggy right now. I've been driving around doing those damage surveys, and a lot of the fields have some puddles and low spots are full of water. So, it's going to be hopefully helpful to dry things out and let the farmers do what they need to do as we head to the late part of the month here. Sure, sure. Yeah, the outlooks are showing, as I mentioned, 8 to 14 even was below normal temps and above normal precip. Not a lot above normal, just that it's a tipped, 33 to 40th percentile. So, while it's that guidance there, it looks like we're going to relatively be mostly dry for the next couple of weeks. 'Cause this outlook was issued, let's see, April 9th, so yesterday. Hopefully not too much moisture there, but the following 3 to 4 week outlook has equal chances of above or below normal temperatures. So kind of just waffling around normal there, it looks like. And then the above normal precip shifts just south of DeWitt County. It's probably Macon County and then south. So, in general, nothing too alarming there. Normal spring-like conditions, maybe warming a little bit slightly because we're below normal for the month so far. So, if we trend maybe up towards normal, we're going to have to be above normal for a few of these days coming up here in the last week or so of the month. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we've had 5 days in the 30s, well, mid 20s that we had on Monday morning, I believe. But yeah, it was really cold. What that or Tuesday morning, I guess. But 3 days of in the low 30s or below. That's chilly for April because our normal lows are in the low to mid 40s. So we did have a freeze warning that one night, and we're gonna probably have to look at one, for maybe next week Wednesday, and then that Monday night we'll look at that. So I don't know how cold we're gonna quite get there. Saturday morning is going to be in the mid 30s again here as we head into this weekend, but it's going to warm up after that. So a few cool days, hopefully not any freezing conditions. I don't see that immediately in the offing. So weather.gov/Lincoln. Yeah, I just loaded up the the whole window of rainfall. We had was DeWitt County wasn't too bad. Obviously, not a lot of flooding up this way. We had 3.5 inches of rain or so, 3 to 3.5 in the last, let's see, since March 30th. But farther south, southern Illinois has had over a foot of rain. A couple of reporting sites, 12.45 in Pulaski County, 11, just kind of widespread 10 to 11 inches, 10 to 12 inches in the far southern end of the state. And then that 8 inch amount was all the way up to I-70, 8.5 in Jasper County. So, which is Newton. Newton is the city there. So we've just had a lot of 3 to 6 inches in central Illinois, and then really bad down in far southern Illinois. It was 8 inches to a foot, pretty widespread. There still is some the central part, and then the far northwest. DeWitt County has a little swath of D0 abnormally dry in the northwest corner of the county. But everywhere that it was like 4 to 8 inches has pretty much gotten rid of it. Edgar County is still hanging on to some moderate drought, unfortunately, but otherwise Central Illinois is doing really well overall. I mean, we're towards Galena. There's D1 moderate drought, and then over towards Quincy, there's some moderate drought. But I think we're going to be gradually, nudging into that even as we head to the next couple of weeks. I know we're showing slightly above normal, but that surface moisture from further north is actually going to come down the rivers as well. So, but yeah, it's not too bad. Really, it could be a lot worse. Yeah. Right, right. Yeah, the volatility was pretty high. We had, the days we had severe weather, we had a lot of moisture, and those storms were able to produce a lot of rainfall, but also, wind damage. As that cold air rushes to the ground, we had a lot more wind damage than anything else, and obviously tornadoes mixed in there. So, we really had a lot of wind damage and power outages. Not as much hail. There was not nearly as much large hail. Couple of days, and maybe one of those we had is hail up to about golf ball in a couple of reports. But by far, the vast majority of impacts have been wind damage and power outages. Yeah. Um, as for the surveys, we look for the strength of the tree before it snapped. We look for the strength of the power poles before they snapped. So we monitor the impacts, and then we try and rate it with how strong of a wind needed to be done, to cause that damage. And there's what's called Survey 123. We have software that has damage indicators and engineering research that goes into how much wind it takes to knock something over on average. And then if we look at it and go, oh wow, that wasn't built as a 100-year-old barn or whatever, we can slide the bar down towards a little bit lower wind speed to cause the same kind of impacts and stuff like that. So, but a lot of the outbuilding damage was to roofs. Some of them actually got completely destroyed with a few of the tornadoes. All four walls down, the debris tossed for a mile or two. Actually, this hog farm that got hit, I think in Clark County, the debris went for 10 miles. It just got dropped, and then one of the owner's keys in his little Gator 4-wheel, Gator that they drive around, landed on a bridge about 2 miles downstream. It could have landed in a field in the woods. It landed on the road. It was just bizarre, some of the stuff that happened with these tornadoes. Oh, okay. Yeah, that was a big one. Seems so. Yeah. All right. Yeah. There's a reprieve from cooler than normal for the middle part of April. The rest of spring looks like it's got a tendency for above normal temperatures, and that would include May and June for our outlook. And then there's an above normal precip signal in like the eastern third of Illinois or so, and it does clip to Witt County too. So, but it's just a kind of a circle of Michigan, Eastern Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. So it's not going to be biblical kind of rainfall, but it's certainly above normal temps will help the growing season get kickstarted, I believe. Sure, yeah. At the end of April, a normal high is 70 and a normal low is 46, so comfortable there. And then as we cruise through May, we end up 80 for a normal high and 57 for a normal low. So that's really nice. There you're getting into summer feel there as we head through Memorial Day weekend there. And yep. Yep. Yeah, looking at the way they structured the above normal temperatures, we're going to be right on the edge of the storm track. So we got to just, Southern Illinois probably more than DeWitt County, but it's going to be there with that kind of a pattern where we're on the dividing line between above normal and cool and colder than normal. Just kind of takes pause for me when I see that out. Looks like, oh, some of May is going to be active. Just got to be ready, and unfortunately, probably have a few damaging wind events there.